5 unedited, largely unrehearsed view into my workflow, largely in Cinema 4D. Certainly use other digital applications as well, whatever fits the bill. I guess a little bit of background. The reason that it's called the practice is because I viewed this as, literally an opportunity to practice my skills and share, the fruits of those labors sort of live and unrehearsed, and give you sort of a nitty-gritty inside look into how the sausage is made without really cleaning up any of the rough ends or omitting any of the mistakes I make, which, there will be plenty of. So, it also sort of relates to the idea of doing something habitually and frequently, like the idea of a meditation practice or a yoga practice, something like that. Something that's going to bring you back to the table for what are, at least what seems to be, a healthy habit to get yourself into. So that's another reason behind the name, the practice. So I think we're up to episode 24 now. Feeling good about the momentum. Feeling good about starting to do some voiceovers and showing my face. So let's dive in. I guess this episode will be working on another little animal creature. This time, another piece in a series of birds I've been doing. So I'll show you sort of where that series of images is at this point. Show you a little bit of reference, and then we'll get started. So let's jump in now. All right. So here's the image that started it all off. I'm really kind of inspired by simple forms. I love, of course, working on animals and animations, and birds are always sort of a favorite subject of mine, and they come in so many great shapes and sizes that I thought it would be fun to do a series of them. Here's another flamingo, obviously very different from the little running bird we just looked at a few moments ago. So so today I plan on actually modeling a chicken. You see I got some reference up, some drawings from an Ed Emberley children's drawing book, which are really useful in terms of thinking about simplified forms. So there we are. I see you got 3 of you watching already. Think of any questions you have, you fire them up in the queue, and let's get this thing started. I've also got, before I jump in, I guess I'll show you, I've also got, I don't know how well you'll be able to see these in the webcam, but a whole page of sketches that I've been doing. I think it's really important to, use pen and ink. And we talked about this last time, the importance of a drawing practice. So just getting some of my thoughts down on paper and roughing out some basic shapes. So let's take a look. Thanks, Source. Appreciate you stopping by. So I think we're really going to start with something quite simple. Right, what I typically do is use primitives, start blocking out the shapes as I kind of refer back to source imagery. So let's bump these tunes a little bit. Looks like a chicken already, doesn't it? I'm wondering if more of a semicircular shape will feel more like a chicken. Probably not. So this isn't necessarily the sexy part of the process, is just fine-tuning and getting your shapes down in a basic way and really start blocking those shapes out. It can take a while to get your basic forms kind of where you need them in terms of setting up your proportions and your ratios. And when working on stuff like, animals or really anything that's not abstract, your proportions are going to be super important. The ratios, the relationship of the sizes of certain objects to the objects around them. So what I'm doing right now is lowering the polygon count on what's going to be, I guess, the beginnings of some little leg stumps for this chicken. Throw that in symmetry. Right? There's those cute little chicken legs. Start anyway. Keyframe Creative Medi. Thanks for the comment, man. Appreciate it. Or person. I don't know if you're a man. That's not fair. Yeah, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Got 3 people in the stream. It's about as high as it gets, which I appreciate. These hairless chickens, it's kind of gross. It's a fancy fella. I think we should choose really if this is going to be a rooster or a hen. I'm thinking more hen. Which this guy's kind of a good reference for. What I'm going to do. There we go. That's starting to feel a little chicken-like, right? Probably got to get some tail feathers going on. Probably use a modified capsule for that. This might be a little bit high polygon, but I'm going to stick with it for the time being. It's funny, I guess, that on this week of Thanksgiving that I'm modeling a chicken. Maybe this should be a turkey, huh? What do you think? I wonder how few of these we can get away with and still making it look like a tail, right? Three or 5. I will do it. Yeah, it's gonna feel a little chickeny. Uh-oh. Is that the chicken butt? Hello, Alien Media. Thanks for coming back, dude. We're making a chicken this time. And so I am with this trying to exaggerate the features a little bit, right? Because what we're doing is making more of a cartoony or a simplified graphic style chicken. I can't believe I'm at a point in my career where I'm actually saying things like that, but that's cool. Yeah, so we're keeping the form simple, kind of exaggerating the big head, fat body kind of chicken look. May even just leave the head. Just like sort of drop a beak into this. Leave the head rather simple. Let's see what that looks like. Let's get a simple cone. Chicken! Whoa, 6 watching. That's probably a career high for me. You guys are the best. Hey, Søren. Hey, Freud. Thanks for stopping by again, you guys. I did make a sketch. I was showing the guys earlier.
I found something about Sigmund Freud on Wikipedia. Do you want me to read that to you?
What? That's really weird. Siri's acting up. I think it heard me say hey, and it thought I said Sigmund Freud instead of Søren and Freud. Really strange. So anyway, here's a whole series of sketches that I did. I've been doing a series of birds actually. And I love doing sort of simplified, stripped down graphic versions of these animals. So yeah, I've just been practicing really reductive shapes and simple stuff. So let me share this with everybody real quick. So here's my email address. What is going on? Slowest internet ever. Yeah, your name set off Siri. Let me put my tunes back on. Why is it taking me to my settings? Bear with me, guys. Oh, look at that. Look at Kieran. I'm going to kill the music. Just bumping that on Twitter. All right. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I see I lost a bunch of you while I was tweeting. Silly. Really. All right. No more of that. Let's get some eyes in here. We can use this symmetry. So this symmetry I'm going to break apart and turn into individual legs probably in a little bit because I do want to make a short animation with this. Whether or not I'll get to that on this stream is another thing, but this symmetry I think will stay alive as more of the inanimate or the less vital to the animation sort of movements that I'll be making. So this can be your chicken eyes. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make the eyes more similarly to some of the other guys I've been working on. So I'm going to go ahead and bring those guys up. I've been using a consistent style of eye on each of them. Here's one I modeled yesterday. Which I will probably release on Instagram and other places later today. And I love this big, goofy, comical graphic eye. It's a ton of fun. So do this, make a bowl. Nope, not the sphere. We need the cone. Nope, that's not right either. Nope. And I grabbed the wrong cylinder. There we go. So. What do you think? A little tiny chicken eye. Big dumb chicken eye. I think a big dumb chicken eye looks a lot cooler. A little bit smaller. Hey Chris, so this is an ongoing personal project. I've just been doing a bunch of silly little bird animations actually. I'll show you those again. You may have noticed these on social. Been posting them this past week or so. So I'm just continuing this. I've been sort of inspired by this animation style. I'm trying to keep it really simple, and I think I may do another 3 or 4 of these guys and make a whole set of them. So yeah, it is an ongoing personal project, and yes, going full time and moving away from my previous corporate gig has afforded me a lot of time to do more interesting stuff and more inspiring stuff like this. So yes, absolutely. So it's starting to feel pretty chickeny to me, which I dig. That's the whole point here. What we should do is add, let's go back to that reference. Look, Twitter notifications. Screw it. So we've got the comb and these funny little gobbler bits, which I think I'll also make out of these modified capsules. Again, just making an effort to keep everything as simple and streamlined as possible. So gobbler, is that called a gobbler? Yeah, see, that's starting to feel real chickeny. Oop. Nope. Gobbler. So a lot of times before I expand a shape, like you see, I have this group labeled off, which I have turned off. Because I just made a copy of that cone before I expanded it, put it in there. That way, if I don't like the way this has gone, I can revert back. I'm going to make some modifications on it. So unselect visible elements. Click that off. What I want to do is bring in these sides a little bit. Not too much. Not loving that. Probably copy this beak and expand it as well. Tuck it in there. It's feeling better. Feeling better. Lots of fine tuning, lots of little tweaks to make. Dexter Walker's back. What's up, man? Thanks for stopping by again. No. Slide all that up. I think the next step might be making a comb, which I am not sure best way to do. You know, alien media, I am not sure, to be honest. I mean, hard surface modeling is typically like cubes and stuff with a low Phong angle. Stuff that's like, you know, computers and robots and airplanes and things like that. Things with hard shapes. Whereas I guess this would be more organic modeling, although I think frequently organic modeling refers to like ZBrush kind of stuff, like your mud box, like true sculpting kind of a thing. So I'm not totally sure, to be honest with you. I think what I'm going to do for this comb, just kind of freehand it in. Just draw this real carefully. I think that'll actually do first try. I'm going to clean up these splines a little bit, but sometimes less is more in terms of points in your spline. It's typically a lot easier to get nice clean curves when you have fewer splines. You just want to let those Bezier points do a lot of the working. Clean your curves up, they're important. Feels pretty good. Let's do it a little bit. It's a bit ugly. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, to your question, alien media. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the difference is, to be honest. I just kind of do my own thing, let other people worry about definitions. I'm handling this comb with a fairly simple extrude NURB. I'm also going to move the widget over. So figure out. Let's call it 12. So move this over approximately 6 to get it on center. Which isn't perfect, but it's close enough. Pretty close to center. Yeah, that'll do. Throw some fillet caps on it. I don't know if that's soft enough a shape. Oh, look what we're missing the back there. There's just a little tweak in here. We'll fix that. Ah. What the issue there is. I think I have this constrain button clicked. Yeah, that always happens. So what I'm going to do is scale that in sort of using an outline. Bring that in slightly. Delete the old shape. Give us a bit more room between the splines. I'll also do these up a bit. It's feeling okay. A little chicken pow. Seen some wings and feet. We'll be getting pretty close. Where does that actually sit? Yeah. Nice fat chicken legs, making you hungry. I don't even skip modeling the wings just because chickens have kind of small wings, comparatively speaking, with other birds. And to simplify and streamline, it might be nice to actually omit that detail. Yeah. Give the chicken a nice flat butt. Thanks for the pointer, Chris. I will check that out. All right, time for feet. Skinny chicken legs. You might want to try something. Let's do it like this. I'm going to hold Option while I click on that cylinder, and that'll drop it in with the same PSR values as the object that was selected, which is hugely useful. Those legs are feeling a little long for chicken, right? Shorten those thighs up with hair. That is too high polygons. Let me drop that down to 12. Get it nice and skinny. Check this out. Foot time. Chicken foot. So lifelike. A lot of times I would try to get those like sort of mathematically perfect in terms of their angle, but I'm just going to eyeball it a little bit here, I think. That's close enough. Aha! Chicken boys coming together. I guess this is a chicken cow, isn't it? That foot needs to be a little bit bigger. Make a making those guys parents of each other, or children of each other, so that way we can sort of rotate these together. Maybe I'll also do is to make this guy editable before I can do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I can move this widget to the knee, which when I animate these legs will create a more realistic joint placement for chicken legs, although I think they do bend forward, don't they? There's our chicken. All right. Looking nice. Brilliant. All right, so what I'm going to do now is borrow a lighting setup from another model as well. Sneak peek at this guy. I'm going to be releasing him a little earlier. He's my interpretation of a duck, I guess, a waterfowl. Let's get these lights. Paste them over. Oh. There we go. We can start texturing this guy up a little bit, I think. What I've also done, I'll show you here, is I've actually saved out my render settings, which you can do using this save button for already projects. So now I'm going to have consistent lighting and rendering setup and aspect ratio and all that stuff from the other model files I have. So let's do a quick, actually, let's make sure we're not saving over anything. That's one thing you have to watch with the model, with rendering presets. It will save your file saving destination. I don't want to do all frames, so I'm going to do the current frame since we're just doing test renderings at this point. Let's check it out. Oh, there he was. Sneak preview. I'll give you guys a little sneak preview. I still have to retouch this guy, but there's our funny little duck critter that we worked on yesterday. Anyway, back to the chicken. Looking all right. Looking all right. For these two, I'm focusing on sort of a more muted color palette. A lot of times I'll use really vibrant stuff. Like in the last episode of the practice, we did a cat that was really like bright orange and pink on top of a dark background, and that looks really great. But it's a style I've done a lot of, and I want to practice with these birds a little bit more of a muted color palette, and that's what you'll see. You know, in this guy's certainly browns and olives and sort of mustard yellows. Flamingo guy is a little bit more vibrant and saturated, but even as far as pinks and blues go, these are sort of muted, softer tones. So there you have it. All right, so let's see. So I'm finding like a nice sort of off-white color for this chicken. You also notice that in this default material versus the material that I'm using now, I've eliminated this specularity because I also want a little bit more of a flatter finish. So I've just totally unticked specular, which continues giving us that more of a graphic, flat kind of look, which I do really dig. Seems like the ambient occlusion isn't working super well. So I'm gonna check out the placement of this light. Maybe my shadows are off. No, that looks pretty good. A bit more distance, maybe. Let's try a warmer tone, too. See if that gets us. Alright, well, let's start getting to the reds. You know, we're going to need actually some pretty bright red for the coxcomb, little gobbler deals, whatever those are called. I'm going to go a little bit creamier on this color as well. There we go. It's starting to feel chickeny, right? Let's get somewhat of a bright yellow in there too. Again, still trying to keep it muted. So I'm not going full bright yellow, but I think we need some fairly yellow. Pitch that chickeny look. I'm also gonna add a bit of noise. So that's gonna give us sort of that mottled feather look. That's a bit too yellow. It's a bit too green as well. It's feeling better. And bring the opacity down and the size way down on this actually too. Let's see how that works. I think 39 might still be too large for the noise scale. Actually, that's not so bad. Coming together. This is going to be a tricky one. I want to get some red around the eye. I don't want to model that, so I think I want to handle that just with textures and a little bit of a gradient. So let's see what we can do here. Throw a layer on this. Getting there, actually. It's not coming out as... it's still got this way down, so that's not going to work. 36, so I'm going to go into this layer. Turn this down to 36. Will that work? What I'll probably have to do, oops. If I put this right beneath, hopefully, that has the same effect. Nope, I'll actually need to 214, 207, 175. 214, 207, 175. Damn, I forgot already. 14, 207, 175. 14, 207, 175. What? Oh, it's not an RGB. Come on, fella. 214, 207, 175. Boom. Okay. Now, this should give us a consistent color on the neck. Now we're getting close to that red, so that's great. So let's get that red color by the beak and the eye, which you can see real chickens have. But again, keeping it simple and just using a gradient. See you, Chris. Good luck in your meeting. Thanks for stopping by, man. Other question I have, I wonder if that's not showing up on the other side, which may or may not be an issue. Actually, let's check this. Now, if we rotate it 90 degrees, smooth it up, we'll get it centered around that beak, just like how it is in a real chicken. Let's make it a little larger in here. See, that's starting to feel pretty chickeny to me. I also want to decide on a camera angle sometime soon. Chicken prettier from this side. Let's actually throw a camera in there. So I'm actually really kind of digging the way this is coming together. I want to adjust this comb a little bit. Always adjusting, fine-tuning, tweaking. A little better. A little bit too square. Yeah, kind of a flat top. Let's give him a little bit more of a rounded comb. Hi, Sean. Thanks for tuning in and stopping by. I'm glad you like the idea of a cinema live stream. We'll be doing plenty of these in the future, so thanks for stopping by. All right, so getting some weirdness in the geometry over here where these pieces are overlapping. If I can improve that a little bit too. Not sure if this is going to be any better. Yeah, and if you like, if you like the idea of this live stream, it'd be awesome if you guys could subscribe or leave a comment or give it a thumbs up. Any interaction or promotion you want to help with would be greatly appreciated. Really looking forward to sharing this stuff with more and more folks, and keeping the good work coming. So, thanks for stopping by. A little adjustment didn't do too much, to be honest. Thanks, Sean. All right, so we go for almost an hour so far. Got a nice little chicken to show for it. I always do that. I always move the camera when I'm in it, so I put a little protection tag on it. So now I literally can't move the camera, which is a good thing. Let's look at the other colors we've used. We got a blue background, we got kind of a yellowy brown background. What another good color background? We did sort of greenish one. He's got red in him. And he is off-white, so I wonder what might be a good range. Is purple kind of crazy? Purple might be kind of crazy. Let's give it a shot, though. Purple is sort of light blue. That's weird. It's feeling a little bit too saturated for me. A little too purple. Tweaking and fine-tuning, that's what we do. Red fade around the beak a little bit bigger. Let's see what other kind of characteristics these chickens have. And we add a little bit of additional color or fade to the tail. So it looks like they typically have a different colored tail. This guy looks kind of nice, actually. Let's do this. Let's take another version of this. Make the gradient linear. We have to swap the placement. Let's just make this a dark brown. Apply these to the tail, see where that gets us. That might be perfect first shot. Not loving it. It's getting a little bit muddy, to be honest. Let's see here. What about if we went the opposite direction? I think I prefer that. A little bit more subtle. Although the tips are getting blown out. So maybe we just go slightly off-white. That'll work a little better. It'll also work nicely on these legs. Let's try that. Still trying to find a background color that I think is working. Keep testing. Tweaking and testing. Thanks, Source. Thanks for sticking around for so long and watching. Yeah, Sean, I know the pain. I know the feeling. You gotta stick with it and keep at it and keep fine tuning and tweaking. It takes a while, right? But at least it's fun. I'm gonna adjust the camera, but I gotta take that protection tag off. Oh. Not a good angle to view this little birdie boy from. Get him centered up and everything. Not sure how I'm feeling about the fade on those legs, to be honest. Tweak, 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 tweak. That looks like a little bit of that red gradient is showing up on the bottom of this bird, which I do not want. If I can do this. Nope, that's not it. Oops. So I have a camera, ladies and gentlemen. tweaking, tweaking, tweaking. I might try and put sort of a break in the beat. Also going to make a copy of it. Wait a minute. Huh. I wonder why that's already expanded. Still going to make a copy of it into this off null I have. Get a little bit of an error there. Ugh. Golly. Let's isolate this dude. Go inside, fix him up. So. M E. So I'm just sort of by hand drawing in these triangles, close out this mesh. It's great because with this new pen tool, everything seems to sort of snap to where you want it. Although the normals might be weird, so I might have to go through and reverse those, but that is all good. Alright, so back to the camera and see how that looks. Just be a bit of detail in there to make the beak look a little bit more realistic. There he is. Look at that chicken. Looking good. What do you guys think? I'm approaching that level now where I think we've got enough detail in there. And I don't want to add too much because I want to stick with this simple style. So I'll go back and refer to the other birds. Yeah, this guy actually has far less detail than the chicken does. Flamingo has a fair bit of detail. But no wings, no tail really. We're going for about an hour and 10 minutes now, so I think what I'm going to do is do a couple more renderings, dial in this background color a little bit, and probably call it a stream. I don't, don't have exactly in mind what I'm going to be doing for the animation here, and that's a long process. So I don't think I'm going to stream all of that today, unfortunately. But I had a really good time modeling with you guys, so let's figure out what this background's going to look like. So maybe we do go into those sort of redder, maroony kind of hues. I think I zoomed in a little too close on them too. Maybe a little bit more of a 3/4 view will work better. Let's check that out. I really love the big blank stare of that eye. I'm loving the way the eyes are coming out. Big old chicken eye. Ooh, hello from inside the beak. They are sticking out just a little bit too far, so I'm gonna bring this dude in there. Not the sky. Why are you selecting the sky? Anyway. I'm going to select visible elements. So I'm not loading what's happening to the mesh there. See you, Sean. Thanks for stopping by, man. I'm liking that darker color a bit better. Something's looking a little off. That's why. Let's see if those colors match up a little bit better. There we go. It's subtle. You might not be able to see it on the stream, but everything's matching a lot nicer now. One more try. Let's see if we prefer a darker version of this. I think that's our winner there. All right. That, I believe, you guys, is our chicken for the day. I'm going to animate this later, and I'll be sharing it on social. Hope you check it out. I hope you enjoyed stopping by and hanging out as we made this. Hope you learned a few things. If you did enjoy, please share it out with your pals who might also be interested in Cinema 4D or digital art. Give us a like, a share, a subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be back for more fun Cinema 4D action. So thanks again for stopping by. Appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Later.